evening, everybody. I am BossFoss, and I will be your proprietor today. Now, to introduce our patrons tonight, we have Ryunn Eldred, and we have Retro. Retro, I totally forget the rest of your game attack, but Retro. All right, we will start with Mr. Ryunn Eldred. Mr. Ryunn Eldred, what are you drinking? And
I
how are you doing?
I am doing particularly well. I am quenching my thirst with a nice mug root beer. So it has beer in the title, but I currently can't afford any alcohol because I'm a broke ass bitch and I have none in the house. So I'm having root beer, at least. It has the word beer. But I'm doing good. I'm enjoying the new Suicide Squad Kills the Justice League game and having fun catching up on the Arkham collection. And right before this, I was live streaming Shadow of the Tomb Raider, trying to beat that as I prepare to do the Tomb Raider 1, 2, and 3 remaster as well. So
Nice.
a lot of relaxing gaming. This is the first time in like 3 weeks where I've actually had a day where I just sat down and done nothing and enjoyed a day off instead of going out and trying to earn money in some capacity. So
Yeah.
I'm happy. I'm relaxed. I cleanly shaved my face and head today, which throws me for a little bit of a loop because I frankly hate being like this, but the more and more I see it, the more and more I'm getting used to it and liking it. Except when I go like this and I move my head at a certain angle and then I just become a giant thumb.
A little late for that,
That's
unfortunately.
how
Also,
that's how I remember meeting you. You were all clean cut, clean
for
shaven.
our podcast listeners, for those of whom who want to see me turn into a giant thumb, you have to watch on the Nerdgasmic Goodfellas YouTube channel, where this is brought into you in video format, whereas everywhere else you can listen to this on the podcast streaming services, whether it be Google Play, iTunes, Spotify, etc., etc. That's my small
Wonderful.
talk.
And Mr. Retro,
Yes. Hello.
what are you drinking, and
Well,
how are you doing this
I
fine
am
evening?
drinking this fine ale of the Budweiser family,
Oh,
Chelada Clamato LA Original. I
very
mean, La Original, as they say. Yes, it's quite good. And yeah, dude, been doing good. Just trying to look up old games and jog my memory a little bit, to come up with a few things for the show
topic.
tonight. The topic, yes, thank you, sir. You can see my gears clicking trying to think of the word.
I see the steam coming out of both ends.
Shh. Yeah.
Well, our very good proprietor, how are you doing and what are you drinking today?
well. I will start with what I'm drinking and what I will be making faces about until I finish it. I am bringing a. I'm drinking a Kolosh style ale.
Oh.
It has a little cat on it. The wife recommended it to me. She said,
Ask something.
Boss Foss, you are going to love this beer. It is going to be very delicious. I guarantee it. Because you like this kind of beer, so you're going to like this.
It's the finest liqueur for any boss.
It's not a liqueur.
I've heard that before though.
Yeah.
You like
So
this, you're gonna like this.
And
so
then you
I took
try
my
it and it's
wife's
ass.
Not every
recommendation
time.
and yeah, no, I don't like it, but I opened it and I got to finish it.
Yes, sir.
As for how I'm doing quite well. I'm excited for the weekend, except for not so excited about having to leave the house at 3 o'clock in the morning to drop off the wife at the school. But that's why we're recording tonight and not recording a different night. Um, yeah, well, one of the reasons. And now to explain real quick what this whole podcast tonight is about. We're going to be talking about mods to video games.
I was
And
hoping
mods
Mods
being
Pizza for a second. I was like,
Count
yes.
mods
me
being
in. Count me in.
modifications to the games, which does also include DLCs because DLCs, at least to me, and you guys can discuss this if you like, mods to me or DLCs to me are official modifications to the game.
I think that's reasonable to
Yeah,
classify it in that
technically the
category.
games are constantly getting updated, which could also be classified as modifications, but
God,
it's a
updates.
base game. But DLCs, I mean, they typically add a lot more to the game.
So do you still
even if they are
consider it
nostalgic.
a modification if it was something that was intended to be in the original game, but then it was added in later? Well,
If
I
it
guess,
is a-
yeah, it's
If it is
still,
a
it's a
DLC,
yeah, it's a
then
modification.
then it's a modification.
Okay.
Yes.
man.
So, I did put in the group chat a few days ago a Google form for you guys to fill out if you were planning on joining to get an idea of what games you guys were thinking about bringing up. And only one person responded other than me. So for that,
I'm
I
hideous.
will vocally give you a point and write it down.
Don't you dare cover up that beautiful face of yours.
I
Mr.
hate it.
Retro,
rosy
do you
cheeks.
have at least 3 games in mind?
Yes, I do.
I don't need you to say what they are. Just as long
Yeah.
as you. Okay, great. So, because I'm incredibly curious now, because I already know what Ryunn might talk about. Retro, what is the first game that you would like to discuss?
Well, I am playing Spider-Man 2 at the moment. It's been a little bit since I have played it because I got pulled into the new Justice League or the Suicide Squad game and yeah, so I haven't played it for a while, but I would like to see a few things. I'm sure it won't happen, but I'd like to see a few mods, on the game just to make it a little more fun as you're traversing through New York and all that kind of stuff. Just I think a good one would be the speed increase, like as you're swinging and as you're like flying with the web wings and stuff. And
Yeah.
I think like a boost or a speed increase or something like that would be fun. And I don't know, man. Let's see. What other games am I playing right now? So another one I was thinking while we were kind of just chatting before we started recording, um, I play a lot of UFC games, and I was thinking, like back in the day when I played like Nintendo 64, there were things like big head mode and stuff like that, which were like the original mods. I think they started putting in games around that time.
Yeah.
I don't know if they really did it before 64 and other things like that, but nothing that I can remember. But they had like big head mode and god mode and stuff like that, So I think it'd be fun just to be able to
Rock and
make
Sock
it like
Robot.
on
UFC.
UFC, man. I think it'd be cool to be able to like put it on god mode or something like that and not be able to be knocked out or submitted that way.
Sure.
You can just beat this shit out of each other for 25 minutes in a title fight match and just see who comes out the victor at the end, just
Well,
by
that's why you play WWE.
no,
Then you got,
so you can
then
just
you
go
just
forever
beat the
and ever.
You can make it to where they're just crawling, begging for death, and you're just finishing them off with a steel chair.
I haven't
Well,
played one of those games for a while.
We're
Ryunn,
about
since
to
you
own
seem so
24. Oh, sorry. My bad. What were you saying?
Since you're so eager, what's your first one?
My first category will be Fallout 4.
Okay.
Do you want me to discuss the mods right now?
Yeah,
Okay.
go for it.
Okay. I didn't know if we are going one at a time.
I had my little
So
say.
I don't know if we're going
because
one at a
I
time.
know that Retro doesn't typically play with mods. I didn't ask him this question, but there's 2 things that I'm wanting to know. One, what mods would you like to see or modifications would you like to add to the game? And 2, what do you currently play with? if you do play with mods.
All right. So for everybody that is watching the podcast on the NerdgazmicGoodfellas YouTube channel, you're about to see my mods as I share screen. So we are sharing screen right now, right? Yeah, you guys can see it. Do you see the whole entire like
We see full screen.
full screen on Adobe?
I see the
On-
fact that
on
you're in
screen.
Photoshop, and then I see the picture.
Okay, but you guys don't see the actual desktop behind that?
No.
We do.
Okay,
Or
I
no.
can
No,
I
no.
can see where it's giving me the example now. All right. So I am not particularly a person who likes to play with like player created mods, which is what I'm going to dive into right now for Fallout 4 because these are currently the mods I do use in Fallout 4. So the first one we got is Green in the Commonwealth, which overhauls the entire like graphics for the game, and it makes everything a little bit more green and lush in terms of the environment. I'm gonna click that one away. I got everyone's best friend, which means in Fallout you usually are only able to have one companion with you. This makes it to where no matter what, you could have a companion and dog meat at the same time. So you get two companions, but I've always felt like the dog should be able to be with you no matter what, and then you could have a human with you too. This mod makes that possible.
Which I do believe
That's awesome.
that was actually originally intended for the game, and they had removed it.
I have this modification, which is called TSSMSR. No idea. Or the Soul Survivors Military Service Record, which is a modification that goes into the very beginning of the game when you first start the game and you're like making the character. You're able to choose which branch of military that the Soul Survivor served in, what rank he was, like how he trained, he or she. I usually play as a male character, so I'm gonna refer to my soul survivor as a he. How brutal was he during his combat deployments and like all of his military record before the bombs drop. And then it does kind of alter some other things in post game as well in terms of skill points and I think some dialogue as well. I can't remember because it's been a while. I think that one is a Skyrim, so I'll click away from that one for the time being. This right here is some of the Creation Club mods. The Creation Club mods were mods that were player and Bethesda created that didn't take away the achievements. As you can see here, I have the modification for the goodest boy, the goodest little boy, where you can change dog meat into a gold retriever. You got the Charlestown condo. They had outfits, armor, paint customizations to give it like Voltec, Nuka-Cola, that kind of stuff. That's again Skyrim. That's another Skyrim. That's another Skyrim. I have a Creation Club modification where instead of dog meat being a golden retriever or the dog he already is, he could be a husky, which is my preferred one. More modern furniture for your base building. I have the military backpack because it allows you to carry more stuff, and some of the bags have certain modifications that give other enhancements.
Sure.
I have a lot of the Bethesda IP outfits for Fallout 4. The one that's shown here is Morgan Yu's space outfit from the Prey remake. They also have the id Software ones where you get to play as Doom Guy or one of the people from the Quake games.
Sure.
Boom, boom, that's Skyrim. Here we go. We have the no build limit DL or modification. So, because one of my favorite things in Fallout 4 was the building, and I hated how you had like a build limit. So I downloaded a mod to where I could just continuously build and have no limit whatsoever.
No way.
Skyrim. That one is that one is an episode that just recently went up on the Nerdgasmic Goodfellas.
Oh, did it
How
actually
do you
go
go by
It's up.
downloading mods like that?
So
onto like Fallout 4.
So when you go to the main menu of the game, I'm gonna go back to the start of that. I'm gonna stop my screen share for right now until we go back onto topic for the other game. But with the modifications, so when you launch Fallout 4, there will be like Creation Club tab in the main menu, which was some of the ones I did show. And then they have another tab that's called just mods. And what it does is it takes one of your saved games and then it imports the stuff that you choose to download into that save. But that save will have
it
its
could also do it
achievements
to
disabled.
new games.
Yeah, it could do it to a new game too.
Wow.
It just
So, yeah,
the only issue I find with it is the mods disable achievements, which really sucks because there was a few that David had downloaded that I watched where you've had like a Silent Hill one. You had one where your wife didn't die at the start of the game, and she was actually a companion that you got to have with her.
It was, I think she was a synth.
Yeah, she's a synth. But we'll save that topic for next week's episode because it's gonna play into it, you know.
Oh, I'm sure.
But yeah, there's really cool story enhancing mods, and I really wish that the mod tab didn't take away the ability for achievements, but I understand why it does.
I get it. I know why it does, because there is mods that just completely destroy things. But also, talking about Fallout real quick, I had to download a mod because one of the first quests for me got bugged, and Cogsworth wouldn't talk to me. So he was supposed to go. It was when you talk to him, and then he goes, "Okay, let's search the neighborhood," and he never does. Like, he just stayed right there, and I'm like, "What the hell?" Turns out that it's a common bug. So there was a bug fix on the mods page, but if you use it, you can't get achievements for that save game anymore.
Damn.
So, but that's
And
also
you
the
have to
difference between,
use
like,
it to.
I had to use it to
progress.
fix the game because the game's
Yeah.
bugged, and I didn't want to. Because I thought, okay, well, this mission's bugged, so I had continued on, and I went and did a bunch of other things, and eventually I'm like, oh, well, I should probably go back because I want Cogsworth as a companion, and I'm sure at some point this mod should, or this mission should be fixed. And
That's the bot, right? With all the arms, all the mechanical
the
arms.
Mr. Gutsy robot that was like your butler at the start of the game.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
I know.
and then
Now I want to play Fallout 4. You guys got me on a Fallout 4 kick now.
I know,
mean,
it's been a long time since I played 4, dude.
But one of the DLCs, and sorry, I keep using the pen as a pointer. One of the DLCs was the Mechanist Workshop DLC, and you were actually able to modify
Cogsworth and Kiri, and create your own robot.
Shit.
Yeah, and you were able to create your own.
What?
So a couple of the mods that I would use for that is I brought in the Securitrons
I've been missing out, man.
So that way I could actually have like Securitron guards if I wanted to. Or at this point I was fully diving into the modding. But I had one where when you're walking around you'll find turrets that are just sitting in like shopping carts. So I made it so that way the shopping cart was actually one of my robots, and then it had the turret, so it could just start shooting you. It would be a moving shopping cart that would start shooting you. Another one was the robot was in a wheelchair. Why? I don't know, but it was funny at the time. And then a mini
robot
tank.
in a wheelchair.
Yeah. And then a mini tank. I had a lot of mods for Fallout, but ultimately, because of the size constrictions on console, I would only end up sticking with. I would end up sticking with just a few core ones, which was I added more music to Diamond City Radio. I added more ambient, like, music when you're not listening to the radio, where you're just out exploring. And then I had the bug fix. And then I did have the cheat mod, mostly just in case I got stuck, because there was a few points when I would just be wandering around and I would get stuck in a spot, but I'd still be like falling, so I couldn't fast travel. So with that, I would be able to activate no clip mode and like put myself out of the hole. But yeah, getting to my actual first game, I mean, and the one that actually spurred the whole thought process was Starfield. Retro, have you played Starfield yet?
I have not much of it, but I've played.
So I've beaten Starfield, and now I just launched up a new character, and I'm realizing that I really want some modifications to the game, not to like cheat and be like, oh, I'm just this OP guy, but more so I'm like, okay, well, I was a bounty hunter, and all I have is this. Maybe I'm good with a pistol. Sure, I can fly the ship a little bit, and like, oh, I can use a jetpack. I feel like as a bounty hunter, I would be a little bit more skilled. Or, I want to add in, I need to actually eat. I need to actually drink. I need to make sure I'm actually sleeping. So I need survival elements.
Yeah.
Those kinds of things. And then, of course, I would love to add in the Star Wars worlds and bring in some of those ships and
Yeah, dude.
Go to Mustafar.
Freaking Star Wars ship mods. Oh my god.
Get those. Or
I'd have Boba Fett slave, bro. Just like
yeah. And it's possible because people like the ships do take off like that. So you could have it take off and then fly like that, or there's a realm of possibilities, but we just have to wait for Bethesda to finally give the modders the keys. The modders are, of course, already modifying the game. They were modifying the game as soon as it released. Matter of fact, it set the fastest record for
a game to get modded.
No. The fastest that a game has ever gotten a nude mod. An adult-only mod, or not safe for work mod. It's the fastest. It was, I want to say, within like an hour of the game's release. So I'll have to look it up. But
turns out it was a Bethesda employee who made them. He was like, my ideas are getting in one way or another. Make sure it's Spider-Man. No.
Oh my god. Are there any other side topics besides mods or anything like that? Or
well, I mean, there's a ton of mods for Starfield, but like we still need to like wait for. Oh no, I take it back. I'm so sorry.
I'm down, Slim Shady.
The not safe for work mod came out before the game officially released.
Holy shit!
So
because the collector's edition got access early.
Because of early access. That's funny. That is really
horny people, man. Horny people. That's all I'm saying.
Hey, man, sex sells. You want your mod to get a lot of freaking upvotes and everything, and be one of those top modders. Release a nude mod. Everybody's gonna download it.
Another mod I was watching another YouTube channel, and he was going over some of the Starfield mods. And one of them was you work with somebody at New Atlantis to actually build ships that they're going to sell. And then at some point, those ships will start popping up in the universe. So you'll start seeing just NPCs flying by in a ship that you designed, or the pirates might start attacking you in one of the ships that you designed in your own ship. Or
that's why you build
your own ship.
Fail safety in your own ship designs to where you're just like
just detonate.
This is just an exhaust port, okay?
Just put a proximity bomb in every single one of the ships, so if they get too close to your area, you just like boop.
You just it zooms out into a worldwide map, and you just see a bunch of
not all at once. Proximity, bro.
What are you motherfuckers get close to me? You're all going.
Damn.
So, well, Retro, you did technically talk about two games. Did you have
Well,
two
I
more
did
games?
have something. I did have something. I just kind of wanted to bring up since
Please.
Rune and I are playing Suicide Squad at the moment. Um, the one DLC that I'm really looking forward to that's coming out. I think it's the first thing that we're getting in season 1 is the Joker. Yeah,
I'm really excited
and
to see where it's
how
gonna
the
go with
Arkham
this.
versus
As a playable character?
yeah, DLC. We're getting
Isn't
the
he?
Joker, and
I mean,
he's
spoilers,
So
but the game's been out for a while.
to jump
Isn't
into
the Joker dead?
spoiler territory, Arkham vs. Joker does die in Arkham City.
Okay.
The Joker that we're getting, and this is again spoilers, Elseworld is being introduced in Suicide Squad Kills the Justice League. Elseworld is multiple universes. There is a character that we're gonna interact with that's gonna introduce it. Pretty much anybody that knows who Brainiac is, Brainiac conquers planets all across the multiverse to rebuild his own planet that I can't even remember the name of right now. So the Joker that we'll be getting in season 1 will be from a different universe. And it is a Joker that is not yet pronounced as Joker. Not pronounced like name-wise, but not as infamously insane. Well, no, he's as insane. He's just not planted how he is as Joker. That makes sense.
Gotcha.
It's fresh.
Okay.
It's like Joker at the start. Doesn't really have a Batman.
Have you seen?
Doesn't really
I don't know if this
established
will work.
himself.
I don't know if this will work, but it might.
I could just pull up an image of it and the editing process.
It's a
But
it's a cool looking picture. I like the way he looks.
I like the fact that he
really do.
doesn't look like actual Joker, like the Joker we're used to for Arkham.
He looks young. This one looks really young.
Again, it's Joker at the start.
Like year one. Yeah, like year one Joker, bro.
It's Joker at the start of him being Joker. It's a fresh start for the character.
That's really cool. I'm excited.
I am too.
I wonder what kind of weapon he's gonna have, like as his melee weapon. Probably be
a cane or a boxing glove.
Yeah. I was gonna say it's probably gonna be like a.
His grenades is he throws either chattering teeth or a jack in the box.
That would be really cool. Oh, crowbar. That's what I was trying to think of. It'll probably be a crowbar.
What's the weapon that he beat Jason Todd to death with?
I know. I'm sorry. I was thinking of like every other weapon besides
He's like,
crowbar.
let's see. He's like, what was it? Which one hurt worse? Was it front hand, backhand? God.
But I like your idea of the chatter teeth
as his grenades,
like bombs. Yeah, that'd be freaking sick, dude.
So,
just a handful when he's coming down.
Because you said the Joker's official.
Yeah.
What would be a character that is not announced that you would love to see in the game? Especially since we apparently have the multiverse.
Tim and I were kind of talking about this the other night.
You want me to lead on that question?
It's weird.
At this point,
I want to say really quick, just really quick. I want to say Polka Dot Man, bro. I would love to see Polka Dot Man because I think it'd be fun to play as him.
I think he would be a very unique character.
Yeah,
especially
it would be
with
unique.
The polka dots.
It'd be a fun spin game.
I'm gonna name two, only because my first choice is going to be in the game regardless, and that's Deathstroke. And I know he'll be in the game because the first time Task Force X gets mentioned at all during the Arkhamverse, it's when Amanda Waller throws him the dossier, and he's the first inductee into Task Force X in Arkham Origins. Somebody I think would be cool to see as one of the playable characters, Red Hood, because he fills that moral gray area where he's not a hero and he's not a villain. He is the Deadpool for DC, pretty much, where he has no moral real grounding. He kills people, but he is a hero. And I think he would fit Task Force X really well. especially being the fact that Jason Todd was the Arkham Knight as well. So he would hold very huge significance story-wise.
And I think one more character that I think would be cool to bring in that would probably bring, more people into the game, make it interesting, like Peacemaker. I think he'd be a fun. We were also talking about him too.
Yeah, having
Like,
him as a character
pretty sure
jump in
they're,
during season two's
I,
like premiere.
yeah, yeah, because I'm pretty sure we're getting it this year, but
We should be
season
getting
two.
season 2 of Peacemaker this year. And I mean, he's already going to be a guest character in Mortal Kombat this year as well. So
Yeah.
Peacemaker will hold a lot of relevance, especially if
it's
you
John
get
Cena,
John
bro.
Cena to
Like,
voice him.
yeah, if they could do that and bring that in, I think that would probably bring more.
He would
people
be
into
the he would be the first
like,
character.
I'm not gonna get it. Or,
He'd be the first
you know.
character outside of Joker and Harley Quinn that I get up to max level.
Oh, bro, hell yeah!
I think I pissed my mom off, and I
Something
think
with
I
his
hear her cooking already because we took so long to start
pistol.
this. It's okay.
Oh,
It's
have you not
John's
eaten
fault.
dinner yet?
No, I was
You not
supposed to.
eaten?
We were supposed to start at 8, and I was gonna be cooking at 9, but we started at 10.
Yeah. We planned on starting this 2 hours ago, guys.
Yeah. Well, sorry, you could have. Didn't have to wait for it.
To jump in, since John did
Appreciate
talk
it, though.
about
Yes, please.
since John talked about two of them, I'm gonna go ahead and jump into my second topic, which was Skyrim. So as you can see here, this is the Creation Club menu for Skyrim, because the new legendary special anniversary edition of Skyrim that released like 2 years ago gave you all of the mods for free. Actually, not all of them, because I can see right here the anti-mage one I don't own yet, but they gave you a majority of the mods for free. One of my favorite ones to use in the game is survival mode, which David was mentioning with Starfield, how he wishes there is like you had to eat, sleep, all this. Survival mode makes it to where you have to wear armor that is insulated when you're in the snow areas, armor that is more breathable in like the hotter areas. You have to eat, sleep, you have no fast travel. So you have to have like weight management and everything. It makes the game like 100 times more difficult. And this is how I'm playing for fun when I'm not making content. This is what I'm using and playing as.
So before
I
you
haven't.
switch off of that, I'm so sorry. In the last podcast, John, do you remember what I called Tim? What I said Tim was? That's right. I called him a masochist because he loves to do the hardest thing he could. Survival mode. Granted, I did say I wanted
Survival mode. I just play it for fun.
I just play it for fun when I'm not recording.
No big deal. It's just gotta eat.
The one thing I did do to make it a little bit easier is I have the camping mod enabled, so I could set up a little base anywhere.
Oh, that's cool.
I don't want it to go to the other one. And then I have Forgotten Seasons enabled as well as everything else that you say. Everything that says owned, if you look at all the other tabs, are things that are active. But those three were just the ones I wanted to highlight. Forgotten Seasons adds a more dynamic environment to where it's like it will rain, snow, fog. It brings in like the actual seasons and weather changes per season and all that. And it just makes it more immersive.
Like the horse armor down there.
Yeah, the horse armor is really cool. That's a cool little feature.
Your
There's
horse won't die as fast.
I have like the fishing mods enabled. I have like a bunch of stuff enabled where I could just take a break from everything and sit somewhere and just start fishing.
Farming and fishing and what is that one? I can't. Necromantic Grimoire.
It adds necromancy like spells and stuff like that.
Oh.
Do you want me to
stop
just
sharing
jump
before you clicked on that last thing?
I was gonna say I could just start on my third topic right now if you want me to.
Go for it.
Yeah,
So
go ahead, miss.
the third game that I had brought up was Resident Evil 2, 3. Like the new remakes for Resident Evil, they have
Oh,
mods
I didn't
and
know it was the remake. I just saw that it was Resident Evil 2, but I've been laughing at the every time it pops up, I've been laughing at the tab. So go ahead.
with the Jill pick mod. I didn't realize it said the name up there. But yeah, so one of the obvious mods you have to run in Resident Evil 3 is goddamn.
Damn.
So as you can see here, this
Damn.
really enhances the narrative.
Sheesh.
But no, Resident Evil has added the player community have added other mods that aren't, exploiting things like that, like turning Mr. X or Nemesis into Thomas the Choo Choo Train.
Oh my god.
And just other hilarious fun. Like I've seen ones where either Mr. X or even Nemesis is Shrek. And when he like bursts through a wall or he chases after, he's yelling, "Get out of my swamp!" So it's fun. I think Resident Evil has a very fun, a lot of stuff like the one I showed in the presentation. But I wanted one mod to be kind of humorous and funny.
Yeah, no, I got that.
So yeah, that rests
was-
my case for game mods.
Oh, also
Well, for me,
retro.
speaking.
So I had listed, hey, put 5 games down. And he listed the 3, and then it was I don't fucking know and why for the other 2 that he listed. I'm like, you fucking kidding me, man? Take it seriously.
I did take it
And then, of course,
seriously.
when he got to the very last question, he did not appreciate it. It was, is BossFoss the best host ever? Yes, hell yes, and really? And he answered with really. And that really just broke my heart.
Really? You didn't pick hell yes? What is wrong with you?
And
The best part is I
that's
could have
5
kept
points
it.
that Retro just got because he was like, hell yes. Best one.
Oh.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5.
5 points. 5 points.
Whatever.
Did you hurt yourself doing that?
A little bit.
All right, so that's a point off.
4 points with no
4
injury.
points. 4 points.
Be careful, little man. You might pull a muscle with all that movement.
So,
My finger.
we talked about Fallout 4, but Fallout 3 and New Vegas, which both ran on the same engine practically, there's a very interesting mod that actually links the two together. So Fallout 3 starts with, you are born in the vault and then you get out and you can do Project Purity and all that. But there's a mod called Tale of the Two Wastelands in which in Fallout 3 you come across somebody who goes, "Yeah, I'm setting up a courier business and we're shipping across the entire state. And I think we're going to call it the Mojave Courier. I forget exactly. It's been a while since I played New Vegas, but pretty much names the one from New Vegas. And then you get onto a helicarrier and fly essentially to New Vegas, where you get shot in the head and start the campaign of New Vegas. And then you can travel between the two wastelands. Well, because New Vegas starts with your character gets shot in the face by Matthew Perry.
Yeah.
So after you get that, then you're able to travel between the two wastelands because if you ever use the console commands, you're able to get items that were in Fallout 3 in New Vegas.
Did you just say Matthew Perry?
Yes, Matthew Perry played one of the main antagonists of Fallout New Vegas.
He played Benny.
Mm-hmm. What?
Yeah. Turns out Matthew Perry was a huge
that game like twice, and I've never noticed that was him.
Matthew Perry was a huge
What can I
fan
say?
of
The game was rigged from the start.
Wow, that's crazy.
He was a huge fan of the Fallout games.
I love the Fallout games. The Fallout games were actually the first games that I've ever modded.
Same.
And I went crazy with the mods.
I could contest because I remember seeing them.
The Mothership Zeta mod, I not my proudest moment. Uh, there was a DLC or the mod that came in which you got to go back up to the mothership, which I mean you already could, but you save some survivors on the ground and they're looking for a place to stay, and you say, "Oh, I have this perfect place. It's the spaceship." And so they set up operation and ended up expanding. Well, it turns out that they were Enclave, and you pretty much make the Enclave reborn in Mothership Zeta. So now the Enclave have a freaking spaceship, but you're the general.
Damn.
So now you get to run operations from the spaceship,
And sell
going back
amazing
down.
car insurance. Get it? Because you said we're the general. Let's try to insert a joke here.
Yeah,
Sorry.
that's negative
That's
2
negative
points.
2 points.
Meh, meh, meh.
You say mwah, mwah, mwah. All I hear is brr, 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 brr.
Oh God.
And then of
I'll
course
have to hear that on mute
I had
tomorrow.
modded it to I did a lot of mods. But jumping back to Fallout 4, and it's something that me and you talked about earlier.
I was planning
There's
to
a
bring it up if
massive
you didn't bring it up. I was planning to.
there is a massive mod
It wasn't.
called Fallout London.
Called what? Fallout what?
Fallout London,
London.
which if I'm not
It's
mistaken,
a
is essentially
complete
you start
overhaul
the game
in
in
London.
London, and it like totally
They
different
changed the
story.
entire story and everything. It was a whole built from the ground up off of Fallout 4. And it is a mod that is it already out or is it coming out? I
think it's
don't
out.
I don't know if it's been fully released yet, but it's been one of the newest mods from like a person. I want to say I think it's the same guy that made the mod you're talking about earlier that connected Fallout 3 and Fallout 3 New Vegas. Because
Do
he's
you
no
have to buy these?
Fallout London. No. So player mods typically are free. This
Really?
mod releases April 23rd of this year. So Fallout London will be available to the general public. As far as I know, for free. You can donate, and I strongly recommend donate if you are planning on actually using the mod, because like they're
a lot
putting
of time
a lot
goes into all this
hours
stuff.
and hours into this.
Mhm. Oh,
Bug testing, and
It is the
I mean
equivalence of them creating their own game, but they're using assets and code that's provided by another game,
yes.
essentially.
Now, if I'm not mistaken, I also think that a lot of times modders get job offers from these companies.
probably. I wouldn't doubt it.
Like that's
Especially if they can do something that big of scale.
yeah. It
on a
does make
mod.
me kind of feel a little bit sad because I'm like,
Yeah, I can see that, bro.
game
fucking
companies are
overrated.
releasing these games, but players are having to mod the game to fix issues or like add features that were so much better.
Yeah. And then they can't get achievements the rest of the time on that save file.
Yeah. Well, except for with
Yeah.
Steam, or at least with Fallout 3 in New Vegas, I don't think it blocked the achievements.
Yeah, I don't think Steam blocks achievements, but Xbox
It does, but yeah.
it's different per company.
Yeah.
Would be a sufficient way to say it.
So, how long have we been going?
About half an hour, 30, 40 minutes.
Really? That's it?
Yeah.
I didn't anticipate it being a very big topic.
Yeah.
And I mean, it is just
been a
us
good
three.
talk, though. Yeah, it's been a good talk.
It's been a very good talk.
So, do
I
you
thought
want to
we were
keep
more
going,
like
or
an
you
hour in.
want to do final call?
It's up to you as host. It's up to you as host. Because I could easily...
because we are doing this on a work night for me, where I do have work early in the morning. I will have to cut it short.
Yeah.
And I do apologize for that. So, insert bell ringing final call. Let's do final thoughts. Retro, your final thoughts about modding in games.
Let's see here. I'd have to go with Super Mario Brothers. Way back, if there were mods back then, I would have modded the shit out of that game. I think it would have been fun with the different things that people could have come up with. And honestly, like, talking about it makes me want to get into it and like really discover like what is out there for certain games and different mods and stuff, because I've honestly never played with them except for like how I mentioned, on 007 Goldeneye, and they had like big head mode and stuff, and they had God mode and golden pistols, and that was the first game I ever played, I think, that had different mods. You could just go to a settings and select and change it up like right there in game, which was really fun. But I think Mario would have been a good game that. And I don't know, maybe like if you could look it up, if there are any games like Mario games, you probably have.
I'm sure there is. Ryunn, do you have any final anything like to
my
add?
my final thoughts on the topic of mods. I'm gonna branch it out into some different categories here. I think player created mods, which was where my brain first went to when you brought up the topic, is interesting. Again, as you know, for me, I don't use mods all that often outside of ones that were like the creation club for Fallout or Skyrim, because
official DLC.
Yeah, or official. Well, that's going to be the second category. When I'm thinking mods, I'm thinking in player inputted ones. Things that weren't meant to be in the game, but people wanted to put in because they wanted one feature or another, which I think is great. I think as like people who are aspiring to be game creators, I think that's a wonderful platform to start testing your skills on and everything, especially when you're bringing in other enhancements like the Fallout London. I think that is extremely ambitious, and I'm excited to see how it is because I've seen the trailers. Me and you have watched the trailer for it. We've seen the cold opening for the game, and it's one of those things where it's like I think I might re-buy Fallout 4 on computer just so I can play the mod for that because I'm thoroughly interested. I love Fallout, and I love Fallout like lore. And from what it's seeming like, it's going to be very lore accurate. It's going to be an unofficial official Fallout game, and I'm excited for it. Obviously, there's the more fun ones like the Resident Evil Jill mod that I was showing and other mods like that. Like I see Portazowski Plays has showed me some mods similar to that for Starfield on his computer and other games, Cyberpunk.
Honestly, I did think that Robert would have been a good one to have.
Robert would have been perfect for this episode if he wasn't working right now.
Yeah.
But like I've seen it with Cyberpunk 2033. Is that the name of it? 2077. My mind's elsewhere. An interviewer even talked to Keanu Reeves because right after the game came out, people were modding Johnny Silverhand to be one of the characters you could have sex with. And even Keanu Reeves was talking about it, saying that it's phenomenal to see where people go with stuff like that. It wasn't a feature in the game, but he thinks it's extremely cool that people modded it as being part of it. And I agree with that aspect that it's amazing to see what people could do with a published IP. It's just not something that I am generally intrigued in. That being said, I'm definitely going to add Fallout 4 to my just recreationally playing list and start a save with the mods because after digging up examples for this episode, it made me want to go back through and replay them. Modifications in terms of DLC, which I agree with you. I agree on the term that DLC is technically modification because it is being modified into the game. I don't think it classifies in terms of mods as in the way I was interpreting it because it's still content that they've
say
needed
mods,
to add.
it's probably not It's probably not what people think about, but honestly, I brought that up just so that way
It
people who
broadened the
don't mod
horizon.
games are able to add to the conversation or have a general idea. But yeah,
That being
please
said, one
continue.
of my favorite mods DLC wise will forever and always be the Nuka World DLC. I love that
Nuka World was
DLC.
fantastic.
Love
I
Nuka
loved
World.
Nuka World. All right, guys. Well, my final thoughts actually
One more
align
thing.
mostly with Ryunn. Oh,
One
yeah.
more thing,
Retro.
real quick. I wish you could pull this up real fast because I did look up Mario mods, and one of them is no mustache Mario, and it's
That
terrifying.
is nightmare.
Sounds terrifying.
I'm a
It's terrifying.
I'll Google an image and add it in the video format. It'll be the template
like
picture.
All
like
right,
killing
guys.
the
Well,
Sideburns.
with that being said, and I'm very sorry, Ryunn, by 2 points, you have won. So
Good job, buddy.
I pass
Thank
the
you.
keys to the bar to you, my friend.
Oh.
Take us away.
Well, thank you so much for dictating me the host of next week's episode. I have a very special episode planned. I've already talked to both of you guys about what it's going to be on in the off chance that I won. I'm really looking and hoping forward to having everyone in it. I'm going to do a Google forum as you did in the group chat for it so that way we could all be a little prepared because again, the next week episode will be a special episode and I'm really like hoping we all participate to the caliber that I'm expecting for that. Thank you for having me win. It was a fun episode, a very very condensed, fun, very to the point episode. I like it.
I don't like to mess around. I'm straight to the objective.
Straight to the point. That being said, thank you, Mr. Retro, for being a part of this. I know for everybody this week, it's just we've all kind of had a hard time beating this week with a lot of stuff going on. So I'm very fortunate you were able to be a part of this and it wasn't just me and David speaking into the ether.
Yeah.
That being said, you're still the loser. I'm a winner, which makes me the greatest of all time. Yeah. Greatest modder of all time. Thank you guys so much for listening and or watching again. You can catch the NerdgazmicGoodfellas presents the Drinking Corner podcast on all of your podcast listening devices, whether it be Google Play, iTunes, Spotify, the rock under your couch, whatever it be, as long as it can connect to internet, you can find us there. You can find the video format where you can see the very luscious looking Razgriz the BossFoss, the very charming Mr. Retro, or my completely horrendous, horrifying, like monstrosity of a shaven face on the YouTube channel NerdgazmicGoodfellas. You could also check out Retro and I's personal podcast, R&R, which is also featured on the Ryunn Eldred YouTube channel. Last week we had Razgriz the BossFoss for a special promotion interview episode. I look forward to doing more episodes out of that for the personal channel, which you could also find there. Thank you guys so much for watching, and we will... I was thinking of a clever outro, and I couldn't think of it. I had one planned. Don't have it next time with me. So, fuck you guys. We're signing out.
Have a great night. Have a great day.
Bye, everybody. Have a great day.
Bye, everybody.
I'm gonna go make some tacos.